And we're live. So excited. All right, guys. This is Journey to Publication. This is the plotting phase we are going to be talking about tonight. I'm your host, Amber Craft. I write, my genre is paranormal romance and shopping unknown love right now. Got another work in progress. And that's me. And our lovely co-host Jazz, tell us about you.
My name is Jasmine. I write anything that has to do with death. I can't write anything that at least one person has to die. It's a must. I currently
Isn't that most books?
most. I currently have 3 work in progresses. 1 in the editing phase, 1 in the drafting phase, and 1 in the plotting phase. None published, but I'm planning to publish one this year.
All right, so that is us.
If
Now we
life
have,
goes,
huh?
if life goes as planned, I'll publish one this year.
That's our goal. That's why we started this. We came up with the journey to publication. We're starting it all from the beginning. We had the ideas phase a couple weeks ago, and now we're into the plotting. So taking all of those ideas you came up with and plotting them, doing them, and making them into something feasible to write. You can't write without at least some sort of plan, even if you are a pantser. So we have questions in the description down below. We've got another person supposed to be joining us. If she does, great. If she doesn't, maybe we'll try next time. But so we're going to start off tonight with question number 1. Do you plot? If so, how much? And it's kind of a two-parter. Do you prefer... Do you refer to your plot, or do you just make it and forget about it? Do words tonight. Words. So tongue-tied today, dude.
No, plug yourself. Subscribe.
I am so tongue-tied, dude. That's my subscribe
turn
button.
on post notifications. I know I have them on.
Alright.
You want to go first?
I can. When I first started writing, dude, I did not plot at all. Like, at all. I wrote whatever came to my head, and it was the worst jumbled up mess I've ever written. But once I actually learned how to plot, that became Unknown Love, which I'm like some shopping, Unknown Family, which I'm writing, and Unknown Happiness will be. So, must not have been too bad. It will become 3 stories. But I've learned over the time, like, I am a pantser when it comes to writing the actual story, but I at least have to have, if not a chapter by chapter, what I want to happen, at least like a beginning, middle, and end. I start every book knowing how I want it to end, and then it's working myself backwards. And as far as referring to my plot, I actually, the more I write, the more I refer to it. Hey, she's here!
Hey, I'm back. And baby free. So.
Alright, real quick, before we finish what we were doing, tell us about you, where you're at in the writing process.
Right now on Wattpad, I update every week. I'm on my 18th chapter, and I have an estimate of 25, so I'm almost done. And then after, I'm going to edit and self-publish.
Awesome. Do you have a working title?
Not a self-publisher. Team self-publishers.
Yeah. Do I have
I'm undecided.
Do I have a what?
A working title for it. You said you had it on Wattpad, so what's the title so people can find it?
It's called Unwritten.
All right. Well, the first question I was in the middle of answering, I'll state it again because I was pretty much done. Do you plot, and if so, how much? Do you refer to your refer to your plot, or do you just make it and forget about it? There's something about that word refer that I just can't say.
The word. What are you saying?
So, Jazz, did you want to go next?
Sure. Okay. I sort of plot. My first books that we're just gonna pretend like they don't exist. They will never be open. Nobody can ever read them. I heavily plotted them. I went scene by scene, chapter by chapter. It was terrible. So I learned I hate that, and I cannot work like that. I feel like I can't be creative, and it just makes me feel like I don't even want to write it anymore with the plot that big.
Do you think you overplotted then?
I definitely overplotted. It didn't work for me because then when I had a random idea, I felt like I couldn't do it because my plot was so structured.
Oh, okay. So you left no room for anything.
Yeah, I felt like I had no room for creative juices. So now I pretty much just have a story idea and like a beginning and then some random scenes that I know I want to happen, and then I kind of just go from there. I do refer to my little plot when I need to, but most of the time I remember what I have written down, so I don't have to.
Okay. And you, Gabby?
That's pretty much what I do. I make the characters first, and then I go off from that because I normally make backstories for them, and I incorporate that in the story, and then I pretty much just make everything up from there. But I plot the ending and where I want it to rise and fall. So the events that take place in the middle, what I would do is just kind of write down bullet point ideas that I have, and I'll refer to them if I actually feel like I want to use them, but sometimes I don't, and it kind of just sways both ways, I guess.
See, I normally have my main characters, I should say. I plot those out after I do my plot, so I do the character profiles after my plot. And then as I'm writing and a new person decides they want to come up in my story, then I plot them out. And the first name that comes to my head is the name they get.
That sometimes works.
Sometimes.
Not so well.
But sometimes they're boring names like Bob, so then I have to go on Nameberry or something.
Mm-hmm. I'm always character building, so there's no such thing as backstories for me.
I have teeny backstories, which is more like I normally do their upbringing type deal, when they were a child.
I don't know. I think I come up with backstory as I write. I know the basics of who I want and what I want in each person because all my people have certain characteristics, but as I'm writing them, their character to me unfolds, and that gives me an idea of how they were as a kid. So I don't know. The more I write, the more I realize I work backwards, with the exception of even the plotting. I work backwards. I don't know why, but I do.
Do you write in order?
Yeah, that's the weird thing is I write start to finish, but I plot into beginning. I have no idea why.
That's always easier though, because it's really hard to start with. It's hard to start at the beginning, because it's you don't know where to start sometimes. So it's easier.
The hardest thing.
Yeah.
What was that?
Huh?
I said starts are the hardest thing. I never know. That first sentence takes me 5 minutes, but then I just flow.
Yeah. I think with mine, I don't know. I have, for Unknown Family that I'm writing right now, I have a prologue. And I'm trying to figure out how to work it into the normal story because I know people don't, if I end up going traditional, most people don't like prologue. They like it written in. But it doesn't make sense if you don't have this information in, and it doesn't make sense to put it in the story. Like, you kind of have to know this to start the story. So that's why I'm like, I want to traditional publish this book because I self-published the other one, but I don't know.
See,
I guess we'll shop and see.
The book I'm working on right now is the first book I have ever needed a prologue for. And with this book, if you didn't have a prologue, even with it being worked into the book, it would make no sense because you didn't have the information up front.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Alright. Question number 2. What is your plotting technique? And in case people don't know what that means by technique, there are, depending on who you ask, there are multiple techniques to plotting. There's like the writing your synopsis first, or there's the snowflake method, the 3-act structure. I'm trying to think.
There's a couple more.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what they're called, though.
So I'm looking them up right now. Hang on. So there's one that sounds really weird that I've never tried that I'm actually curious about. Okay, yeah. The Freytag Plot outline model. Like, you use your outline to plot your novel instead of the other way around. I don't know. It's a 5-part template of story structure that consists of exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and denouement.
I don't really use any of those. I pretty much I normally start off with a sheet of paper for my starting idea because I normally get it in random places, like while I'm eating or driving down the road. So I can't really do a crazy plot. So I normally just write down the title, the basic ideas under that, and then like at the bottom I'll have some character ideas. That's my original. But when I actually go in deeper, it's title and ideas, scene ideas on one paper. Then on like the back, I have normally broken down into 4 sections because I normally have like 4 main characters that you'll see a lot. So then I just go ahead and plot them out.
Now, are your books, that all your 3 work in progresses, are they a series, or are they separate characters, separate everything?
They are kind of a series. It's like, it is a series. They go together. It's like, what's that one series called? Like,
but I mean, is it like a standalone series, or do you have to read 1, then 2, then 3?
Oh no, you can read it in whatever order you want. It's like, what's it called? Like the Women's Murder Mystery Club series.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where you don't have to read any of them. Like, you could start on book 9, start on book 12. It doesn't matter.
I was just, because I was curious, because like with the plotting, sorry. I was just curious with yours, because like with the plotting, like mine's standalone series too, but so you have to remember what you have each character looking like, what you have their attitude like, and you have to keep all that in mind when you're plotting the next book, because you already have this set amount of things done, and then if you forget that you've already written this character in book 1, and then you go try to write book 3 and you write him as a blonde instead of a brunette, you know.
Oh no, mine, the characters do not overlap or anything. So it's called the Victim series. Book 1 is Victims of the Inn, where it's a family of 4 that kills people together. One of the family members ends up getting murdered. The family gets revenge, and then a whole lot of craziness happens. And the second book, the one I'm writing right now, is Victims of, oh gosh, I just mind blanked. Victims of the Mirrors. where it's like this girl has been seeing things in mirrors her whole life. Her family always thought she was crazy, and then she ended up getting sucked into the world, and she got answers to all the questions she's had her whole life. And then the third book that I haven't plotted out heavily, so I can't really give you details like I did the other one, is called Victims of the Graveyard. And then the fourth one, which I really only thought of a name for, I haven't thought of any details, is called Victims of the Sinkhole. Where for some reason, how I got this idea, I think this is the craziest way I've gotten an idea in my whole life. Which isn't that long, you know. But so I was coming back from bingo with my grandmother because I go with her pretty much every week. It's our time together. And it was pitch black. And there was, road construction signs on the side. And it was like 500 feet, 400 feet, 300 feet. And I was like, oh my gosh, random sinkhole. And a story was born. I don't know. It was pretty weird. At the moment, I was like, what? How did I get an idea from construction signs?
Hey, you'd be surprised at how I get some of my ideas, dude. Some random word or scream from a person and... What about you, Gabby? Have you...
background? I think they're fighting, but I don't really care.
They'll kill each other. You're good.
Problem.
How have you, Gabby, how have you plotted for your Wattpad story?
What was the last theory that you looked up that you said you couldn't pronounce the name of?
Oh, the Freytag Plot outline.
I've kind of done it like that.
I'm about to look it up.
Okay. It's kind of a... Like, it still has the rise and fall like a normal plot, but I don't know.
Is it Freytag?
Freytag, like Frey tag.
Oh, right.
Freytag model.
Oh yeah. That's kind of what I do. They had Wattpad had this like forum, I guess you could call it, where it was for plotting structures for your stories, and they had authors make videos about it, and this was one of the ones that they talked about, and I kind of just used a bunch of their stuff for it.
Now that I'm actually looking at it, I think I semi-use this for my very first novel. That will never sell.
My daughter just threw a hanger at me to get my attention. I'm like, what the...
Oh.
Oh gosh.
Well, she is literally at the other end of the house, but she just threw it down the hall. I'm like, what am I hearing? Okay. Sorry. It scared the crap out of me for a minute.
Get your breath back.
I swear, like I don't have enough going on. Let's cause me to have a heart attack. Random.
Oh gosh, let's not do that on a live stream or in general. Let's just not.
No throwing things during the live chat. Not cool.
Would get views, but that's not the best way to get views.
Yeah, no, we don't need a female version of Logan Paul. No, thank you. We're good.
Oh, no.
No doing random stupid stuff. No. I do that enough.
No finding dead bodies.
Well, yeah, no, I wasn't referring to that part. That's beyond anything. But I'm weird in general, so there's no telling what happens. You can't tell, but I dyed my hair purple today.
Oh my gosh, it actually... I knew it looked kind of different, but like I was like, maybe the lighting's different.
Yeah, it just looks darker. It doesn't look purple.
I try to dye my hair pink and it looks auburn, so just
Alright, back on top. Alright, we know Jazz has an obsession with notebooks, but what do you use to plot? Apps, websites, pen papers, sticky notes on walls. You know, just throwing myself in there for that one.
I specifically put the Windows part in there for you.
Oh, you did. Thank you. Yeah. Gabby, Jazz came up with this question, and in one of the Friday live chats I do with Sarah and Alina and CJ, I made the comment about I took Post-it notes to plot out because I needed to for this editor I'm working with, and it looked like a Post-it note wall or war on my floor, and I ran out of room on the floor. So I took all the Post-it notes on the floor, and as I put them where they needed to go, I like opened all three of my windows up and just sticky noted them to each window, and each window was a different book. Had a sticky note, unknown revenge, unknown family, unknown happiness, and I just sticky noted them all.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
That's a really good idea.
I think she's pretty crazy.
Yeah, my neighbors were having a birthday party. I don't know what they thought I was doing, but oh well.
We have an excuse. We're writers.
I'm gonna have to add that to the weird things writers do, seriously, because I didn't think it was that weird until I said something and Jazz started laughing. I was like, what? Nobody else does that?
Well, the first time she told the story, it was way funnier. Like, she was talking about how her daughter came in and asked her if she was plotting World War III.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
Trust me, I did.
Yeah, it was literally the only Saturday I've had off this year, and I was like, I'm gonna get something done. And I got asked to plot out my next 3 novels, and I was like, okay, and this is gonna take a while, and I ran out of index cards, and I was like, hey, I got a crap ton of Post-it notes. Why not? I don't know. Put them on my vision board, so they're still used. I didn't throw them away or anything. I guess you could say that's how I plot. It worked.
Well, I'm not that crazy of a plotter. While I write...
Well, I got asked to be that crazy of a plotter, okay? I don't normally go that crazy.
In my writing area, I normally have my scenes. Each scene I come up with, I put it on a sticky note so I don't forget about it. And I just place them on my wall so I can see them as I need them. That's normally just what I do. But I recently found out that you can write on walls with dry erase markers, so that's what I've been doing.
You've seriously been doing that?
Yes. My mom came in one day while I was doing it, and she was like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "No."
You said your brother...
I was like, "No, it's okay. Don't turn it off."
You said your brother or your cousin wrote in a Sharpie or something, right?
Oh, yeah, my niece.
Yeah.
She saw me doing it. She thought it was because she saw her auntie doing it. She thought it was okay, so she went in her room and wrote her name on the wall.
Oh dear.
Saved the day with a magic eraser, though.
I told you. I told Alina those things work wonders. I love those things.
What are you doing?
So see, my walls are like sandpaper, so I would be SOL really quickly.
You can tell I'm a writer. Something randomly fell from a table next to me, and it was a notebook and 3 pencils. I don't know why. Why 3?
One to write with, one for the future, and one to sharpen.
Yes.
What about you, Gabby?
One for future means break.
Well, I have a notebook obsession too, so it's okay.
I think as a writer, it's kind of a given.
It's in our nature.
Shouldn't it be at least?
Yeah.
Like, I handwrite, in case you didn't know, Gab. I handwrite because of everything I do. I never have time to sit in front of a computer and write. And so I have, like, I don't know, I've got to do a video on my notebooks. I have, like, an author planner. I have a regular planner. I have a notebook that I'm writing in. I have a notebook that I'm doing my my indie spotlight, like summarizing the stuff for the videos, and a YouTube video book, like a scheduling book, and yeah, and then my devotional book. I was like, I'm missing one.
What are you doing?
You're interrupting my chat. I've counted at least. More like what I have organized. I have 20 notebooks.
I probably have about that.
I told my mom earlier, I was like, Mom, I need more notebooks. And she was like, why? And I was like, I only have 20. She was like, yeah, only 20.
See, I'm really bad. Like, I'll find a spare notebook somewhere that I've just only written halfway through or a quarter of the way through, and I can't just start writing my novel in it. So I'll just rip all the extra paper out, keep the notebook because it's got stuff I need in it, and then put the extra paper in my filing cabinet, and that's like my random notebook paper.
That's a good idea. That is actually a really good idea because I normally rip out the used papers and staple them together, or paper clip them together and put them in a folder. But your idea seems better.
Well, see,
then I
like,
just have a lot of folders laying around.
Right. Well, see, I've got like a huge 3-ring binder that if it's things that are current or at least a need for my writing, I will put it in the binder, and I've got it labeled. I've got 2 binders. I've got one that's A through Z for my characters, and then I've got just one that you can just write whatever you want. And so I have like YouTube video helpful hints, and then I've got one for tags that I've done, and all my writing paraphernalia stuff, like all the accessory stuff. That's not my book related.
Which, just a reminder, we need to do the what's in your writer's bag tag.
Yes, I've got to come up with questions for that. Tell you what, we'll do that this week while we're also plotting for week after next video.
All right. So, do you guys do videos every week?
Because of my schedule right now, we do videos every other Monday.
Gotcha.
Because right now my Saturdays, which is when I usually do all my filming, is being taken up by work. So I'm having to use Mondays to do that. So for the unforeseeable future, every other Monday.
Gotcha.
So
I personally don't make any personal YouTube videos yet, but in the near future, planning on getting a camera soon, so
we'll get you there.
Yeah. Working on it. I'm working on it. I have started plotting out ideas though, so
see, and I think by the time Jazz can do videos, we will probably do like one on her channel and then the next week on my channel, and just back and forth. Like, I think that would be.
We'll be doing them every time, but like one day you might not be available, but somebody else in the group may be.
Yeah, kind of like with Alina and CJ and them. Like, I want to have more people. She's awful bad. Sibling mad.
Goodness.
Is he having a meltdown because you're not there?
Wow. Probably, most likely. No, my brother won't play with him. R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. headphone users.
Right, yeah.
We went through these actually quicker than I thought we would, because I was expecting us to get more off topic for longer.
Well, we do have one more question.
I know, but it's only like 7:30.
Yeah, but I think we can come up with a couple more that have to do with this that we could just do and add in description later. I just got tongue-tied.
That works. Yeah, let's just do that. All right. Question number 4 is: while you write, do you add more to your plot or keep track of ideas some other way? Somebody else go. I'm tired of going first.
I do not add to my plot at all.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of just remember what I have, so there's no need to.
But what happens when you get those random ideas you were talking about?
Well, then they go on a sticky note to go on my wall, but I don't like as I write, I don't like some people while they write they go back and they fill in their outline or their plot more because of how they've written it so far.
Right.
I don't do it in that sense. I just, if I have a new idea, I will.
Well, so does that tie back into like how you were talking about your over plotting? So when you like don't use new ideas?
I think so.
That's why I was asking.
I'm traumatized by the over plotting.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit.
So you plotted so much you traumatized yourself and now you underplot.
I wouldn't say I underplot. The way I plot now works for me. I've tried to pants. That doesn't work for me either. Like the amount of plotting. Oh, baby alert! the amount of plotting I do now works for me. I've tried to pant, didn't work. I tried to heavily plot, didn't work. Like what I do now works for me the best.
Oh, poor baby. What about you, Gabby?
I kind of add. So in my book, there's this thing called a sanctuary, and it's like an otherworldly thing, and it's like you invite people in. Yeah. So I kind of like you invite people in, but once you invite them in, they can come back in whenever they want, and they can't leave without your permission. So what I want to incorporate, an idea that I came up with a few days ago, is actually like a character using their sanctuary as a prison instead of what you're supposed to use it for, like good, as a place to get away and stuff.
That's neat. Yeah, I like that. That's different. That's what we're about as writers, is writing something we haven't seen or heard from before. So. I think for me,
Why don't you take these and go sit on my bed? You want to sit up here? Okay.
I think for me, I have, like I said, the general plot, and I'll have probably 2/3 of it plotted out, and on an outline, and I do go back and refer to the outline as I'm going, because when I get an idea, I'll just write it in. Usually my ideas are like as I'm actually writing. I don't say, "Oh yeah, this would have been great back here," for whatever reason. So if I have something that I can just write in, I won't even add it to my outline. I'll just write it in. And then if I have something for like the ending or something I haven't even gotten close to yet, I'll put on a post-it note, and it's either on my speaker or on my computer. Or if it's something specific to a character, I'll actually open up my character those things. What do you call them?
Profile?
Yeah, that thing. Good words. Yeah, I'll actually add onto that character's profile as if it's something that maybe adds to their backstory or something crazy like out of the blue that wants to happen. I just kind of write it specifically to that character, so I'm kind of a little bit of everywhere.
So, on the topic of character profiles, how far do y'all go? Do you plot out their eye color, their hair color, their eye shape, their body type? Like, how far do y'all go in character profiling?
I actually go pretty far, but not as far as I've seen some people go. Like, my character profile is like a page front and back. I have like all the general, eyes, face. I'll do like the face shape, and the eye coloring, and hair coloring, and length, and then body build. And that's kind of as basic as I go about the person themselves. And then I go back into their backstory and their hopes and dreams and wishes and the type of character they are, like if they're human or god or whatever, where they're from, and the power they have.
I'm pulling up the template I use now so I can say what I do.
Hi, Samara!
Oh, we have a chat person.
Oh my god, our first chat person. Hi, T! It's amazing.
So exciting. Somebody's actually here. We're not just talking to nothing.
We're not talking to ourselves anymore. Frickin' A.
Oh, here it goes. I was about to say, I know I saved it.
It's like, come on,
Use it
find
all
the
the time.
profile. Find it.
I do character's name, first and middle. I refuse to make last names because I cannot think of any. If I have a reasoning behind the name, like goes with my story, I'll write it down. The character's nickname. If there's a story behind their nickname, I write that.
Oh, I never thought about that. Like the story behind the nickname? I never thought about that.
Some of this stuff weirdly ends up coming up in the story. Some stuff I never expected to. And it just helps you know your characters way more. I do the age, how old they appear to be. Like, some people could be 40 and look 25.
Yeah, I write that when I write the age. I just write them both in the same part.
I write eye color, if they wear glasses or contacts. I do weight, height, body build, skin tone, skin type, shape of face. If they have, which I haven't done yet, so this normally ends up blank, but if they have a birthmark, if there's a specific person, like when I imagine them, words. If they look like a specific person in my mind when I look at them, think of them, I'll write that person. Like if they
you look at them in your mind, so it's kind of the same thing.
Well, yeah, but nobody else can see them. If they're healthy, their favorite color, their least favorite color, their favorite food, their mode of transportation, their attitude, how they act when they're alone, which surprisingly has came into play a couple times, their good habits, bad habits, and their hobbies.
Okay. Where do you add in your, like you said, your back? Oh my god, words. I can't
My back. So I have all of that, like, list of the question and the answer. And then on the bottom, I just put backstory and then just do kind of like a brain dump.
Oh, okay.
On the bottom of the page.
I never thought about adding a brain dump to the bottom of a character. I might have to do that.
That's what I use.
Gabby, what's your character outline look like?
I usually start with the name, and then I go to the age, and then I make the backstory.
You're gonna thumbs up. See, he's our audience. He's our live audience.
He enjoys stuff like that. He doesn't get to meet people very often, so that's kind of new. But Yeah, I make the name, then I make up like their age and their birthdays and their backstories. I don't really add much like physical appearance because that's just the style of my writing, but I kind of do add a little bit like their hair, their body, like their shape, how muscular they are, but I don't go too much into detail about that.
When you're plotting your story out and you're making your outline, because those two most of the time go hand in hand, do you, obviously you kind of, well, I guess depending on how much of a pantser you are, you kind of have to have a vision of the person. Do you, like Gabby, do you write much description in the story, or do you just not write it that much on the character development?
In the story, I go in a little more in depth than I do on the like when I plot them out, but I don't go that much because that's just how I write. Because if I do, normally most of my characters are based off of people that I actually know, because it's easier to make up their mannerisms and how they would act and like respond to normal everyday events. So I don't want to make them like an exact replica of the people that I know. So I don't really go much into detail.
That makes sense. Yeah, I forget whether it was, I think it was Sarah that said this on our Friday live chat. I'm reading her book right now, and she doesn't do description that much on people. And we were talking about it, and I think she's got a good point that people that don't do descriptions as much are that way because they want you to be able to envision the person yourself anyway. Whereas some people will specifically tell you they had blonde hair, blue eyes, 150 pounds, 6'4", blah, 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 you know? And sometimes that can be too much.
See, now I do have a very in-depth character profile, but some of the stuff does not make it into the story.
Right. And that's, I always say the only difference between a psychotic person and a writer is the fact that we write it down. Our characters still live in our head, and we talk to them, and sometimes we love them, sometimes we hate them. When it comes to plotting them out,
we have an excuse to our crazy.
Yeah, right. It gets us paid one day, eventually, you know.
Eventually, when we get there, when we get to the top.
But no, what I was gonna say was like I think when you give too much of a detail, it's kind of bad for the reader. Some readers, anyway. But when you're plotting it out, not everything you outline and not everything you plot has to be in your novel. Like it's a lot of it is just for you, be it if you use Pinterest to come up with actual pictures of them, or if you draw pictures or whatever, it's for you to have to distinguish something better.
Okay, so do y'all, when you write, do you kind of plot out your world, or do you have it more as a realistic world?
Well, for me, mine's based in the realistic world. I do make certain like places up or buildings up, but like with Unknown Love, it's based out of Natchez, Mississippi, and I've actually been down the road that my main character goes to when she's getting kidnapped. I made up the warehouse that's on that road, but I've actually been down that road. What about you?
All of my books have been in the realistic world. This one I'm working on right now, though, has kind of a sub-world. So, like, she has the real world, which is definitely realistic. Right. And then the mirror world, which is when she gets sucked into the mirror. So I had to plot that out. And how I went about that was I really just, it kind of just came to me. I was like, okay, so for this world, how would I imagine a fiction world? Like, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Then I was like, okay, so it's foggy. It's black and white and gray. There's no color at all. And it kind of just came to me. Like, I don't really have a way of doing it, like a specific way, because I've only done it once.
See, I read, and I don't remember what book it is. There's a YA book out there where, and I want to say it's a mermaid or something, where she goes into a mirror and it's totally, I guess, what you would expect, I guess you could say. Like, it's just a
How was
room
that world?
with
Like,
tons
see
of
if
other.
mine's totally different.
Yeah, it's just a room with, like, and it is gray because, I mean, I guess everybody imagines that part. But it's just like every mirror is a different portal. And it's literally all it is. It's like walking through a department store with mirrors on each side.
Oh, see, that's not how mine was. Mine, any mirror, but she was really the only one in her family that could see it. There was other people that could see it, but they were chosen. So, any mirror, that world can be gone into by, why'd I say that? Any mirror is a portal for that person.
Right.
Anybody, like, you can see it in any mirror as long as it's that person. So, like, a random person wouldn't be able to just see it. And the world itself is all black and white. It's not like a room. It's a literal world. There is one area that is colorful, and the mirror people, since they are, that's what I've grown to call them, the mirror people, they are so used to the black and white that they don't go into the color. So the people who got sucked into the world, they could hide out in the colorful area so that they wouldn't get caught, because if they caught you, or if they were there in time while you were being sucked into the world, they'd throw you in a building.
In a building?
Yeah, I can't go into detail because
Okay.
That's as much as I can give without.
You're just giving me so many details. I want to hear.
Okay. You'll have to read it.
I want to read. What do you mean?
I can't give away too many details.
Okay, fine. Gab, tell me something new.
I'm sorry.
Okay, because I have not looked your story up yet, I don't really. What is your Wattpad story you're writing? Like, do you have a different world, or is it?
Yeah, I have a few. The Sanctuary is one. It's it's kind of like a home in your own head. Like when you're dreaming, it's kind of like a dream state, but you transfer over into it. And then there's this other one. It's just this big black void, and that's kind of where all evil lives, kind of. And there's this other one. I haven't exactly thought of a name for it yet, but it's the opposite of where all the evil creatures live, and it's kind of rainbow colored, I guess would be the word. It's like iridescent, I think, yeah. And then there's rooms, but they're also like, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like a universe, how you have the one big galaxy and then you have separate worlds. The rooms are kind of like the world, and I call those clock roots, and they're really cool.
Cool. I know
with worlds to manage.
With Unknown Love,
you have a couple worlds to manage.
You like say something weird and you go away from the mic, and we're like, huh? What?
I'm sorry. Kids are screaming in the background, so I'm kind of like,
Are you in
crazy.
hiding?
Yes.
Me and you both. It's okay.
You wouldn't know, but I am kind of sitting in my closet, so.
Is that where?
Don't.
I got no response to that, dude. No response.
Gotta get away somehow.
I remember
was
doing
saying
that.
how
That's
Gabby
why I'm
had.
like, yeah.
I was saying how Gabby has multiple worlds to manage.
Yeah.
Y'all make me feel like a loser. Like, well, with Unknown Love, it's all like I said, it's all on Earth. But for Unknown Family, I delve a little bit more into showing you the home world, I guess you could call it. Where my gods live is on an actual nebula called Eta Carina, but I picked it because it has this beautiful like spiral tower in the middle of like three different beautiful things, and so that's where the castle is or whatever. And then off to the left there's like, or to the right, there's this big black spot in the middle of somewhere, and I'm turning that into the prison, Eldel, which is basically where all the, it's like a wormhole to go to Earth for the Titans and for all the crazy people. So it's, how would I describe it? When the people from Ava go crazy because they're all old gods and they rely on the energy from humans, and now that humans have pretty much forgotten the old gods, as they get forgotten, they go crazy. And you have to walk them into Eldel, and they can either stay in Eldel, which is just a straight black void of nothingness, like walking in a black room always, or they can go to Tartarus in the underworld and at least have somebody to talk to in the Titans. So that's kind of, I think as my books go along, it'll show more of the world, but I'm kind of just plotting little bits as I go into it.
So, like, with the main area that your book takes place the most, how do you go about plotting that?
Like, just the main place that's going to be in the novel?
Yeah, like the main area that the book takes place, like
The main location?
setting. Yeah.
It depends on the book, honestly, because like I wanted to, for my first, I'm not really sure if I'd be a debut novel or re-debut, since I'm going to take Unknown Revenge off Amazon and redo it. But for Unknown Love, which I'm shopping and may or may not self-publish, I wanted somewhere close to home. I wanted somewhere that I knew. My cousin was my number one supporter when I was younger and I wrote, and he would read every god awful story I wrote him. And so I wanted somewhere close to home, just to be kind of close to him. And so I chose Natchez, Mississippi, because I'm from state line, Mississippi, and Waynesboro, Mississippi area. So I wanted somewhere like that. And then for Unknown Family, which I'm writing, it has, like I said, it has a touch of the Ava Carina, because I'm a space freak, and that's kind of what got me going. And I wanted somewhere that I loved going, somewhere that gave me the best memories in the world. And for me, that is Nantahala, Carolinas area, Tennessee, Carolina. They have Nantahala Falls, which I've rafted on like 3 or 4 times. And so it's somewhere that I know intimately, and I can make everyone love as much as I do. And meanwhile, throw a little bit of lure into there, and I don't know, like I will Google map the craziest things in the area, and if they don't exist, I'll just Google them anywhere in the world and put them there if they fit right.
But you don't have to really plot
Yeah, I mean, for that stuff, I don't. So I don't know. Maybe I'm taking the easy way out. But
mine aren't based off of places that exist. So I do have to plot, and because a lot of killing goes on, it's all like in the country, so you don't smell, the bodies.
decaying flesh.
Yes. So I kind of have to, which I guess is kind of easy as well. This is the country, there's not too much out of the ordinary. So
yeah. Well, I don't know. See, I tend to favor small towns, and I'm from the South, so I don't know, for whatever reason, to me it was easier to plot the gods and the whole space thing than it was to plot the entire story. Because like I said, this book was part of the 3 original crazies that just was too many characters in one book. And so when I got to plotting it, it was like, okay, well, they're all still basically in the same area. I'm going to have to move the times around, but the plotting for it is still the same. It's just going to have to be, I don't know, moved around a little bit. I don't know. I had to do what I had to do to make it work, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I don't come up with too elaborate places. Mainly because, a bit lazy.
You're not lazy if I'm not lazy.
I mean, I just feel like I wouldn't, like 1 second I'd want to have the house blue, and the next second I'd want to have it white. Like, I just...
Yeah, but that's stuff like insignificant compared to a whole mirror world. I mean, like,
oh, we have a UK watcher.
I'm loving it. We are famous now. We're in the UK. Holy crap! Oh, you're awesome. Terrible at English, man. I need to learn. Okay, what do you speak? I'm gonna have to learn it. No, but I feel like when you're plotting a world that's straight from your head, you have more freedom. I mean, I feel like when I'm plotting, I have to, because I'm going off an actual place, I feel more restricted because I want to add as much creative stuff as I can, but I want to stay true to the place. And I think I kind of, a couple times, have written myself into corners because of that reason. So I kind of envy you two in a way that you have all these different worlds that you can just come up with. I don't know if it's that I don't have enough time, or if I just... It's probably that. I don't have enough time to come up with 4 worlds.
I come up with the world. Like, at first it wasn't going to have a world, but then I was like, oh my gosh, like, I was in the shower, literally conditioning my hair and detangling it. And I came up with the idea that it would be so much better, and it would make a huge climax in my book if I added the world. So then from there, I took the rest of my shower time to think about the world. And then, Pinterest is a lifesaver, so you can just look up, scenes and stuff and get ideas. I think every writer should use Pinterest.
See, I disagree on that. I don't like Pinterest. People are going to hate me for this. I don't like Pinterest.
I like it, but I don't like it. It's kind of, I don't know.
It's a time sucker. Like YouTube, it's a time sucker.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's why. I don't know. It just looks like a lot of pictures of nothing I can go to. Like, I'll click on something because I think it's cute, or I want to go to it, or go to the site, or something. and it's just nothing. There's no way to go anywhere. It's like, oh, that sucks.
See, I have mine tailored to where mine is all stuff that's going to benefit me in some way. So mine is all writing stuff, inspirational quotes, daily affirmations, healthy snacks because I'm a writer and I don't feel like getting up and eating ramen noodles every day. So
I wish I had
that's
time
pretty
to be
much
healthy.
all that normally comes up.
Yeah, I probably should plot more on my world building, but like I said, if I did, I wouldn't put myself in a corner a lot, like I do. But well, here's a question: when you're plotting your worlds, both of you, do you plot each world on a separate piece of paper and keep it separate, or do you just kind of brain dump everything?
No, every world has its own piece of paper or index card or area on the wall or something. Like you have 4 walls. You can have 4 different worlds. They cannot be on the same wall. It just ow.
Honey, I ain't got 4 walls unless they got bookcases.
Well, I pretty much only have 2 accessible walls, so.
Hey, like I said, there's always windows.
Yes. I think if I did that though, with my windows, it's been raining a lot, so the condensation and stuff. I don't think my stuff would.
I'm gonna make it my mission to turn everyone into using their windows for plotting. It's awesome. You're gonna make your neighbors think you're weirder than you already are, because if you're a writer, you're already weird. And then people are gonna think you're trying to keep your house hot.
Well, hey guys, my Wi-Fi is about to drop, so I gotta go.
Oh crap! It's already 8 o'clock anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
See.
Well, since you gotta leave first, Gab, do you have anything you want to say before we leave?
Not really.
Check out her book on Wattpad.
Oh yeah, check out my book.
Say, do you go by Gabrielle on Wattpad?
Actually, my username is. Let's see, where is it?
You don't know your username?
Yeah, I do, but I changed it. So my username is Gabrielle Alice 22.
Okay. I will find that and put it in the links down below for you.
Okay.
I will do that. Do you have a YouTube page?
Yeah, I sent it to the chat. I sent a link for it.
Okay. Okay, so I will have all of Gabrielle's stuff down below for you guys, because whatever reason the description wouldn't let me add anything earlier, so I'll add it later. Ginga2122. By person I don't know.
Her name is Gabrielle or Gabby, Gab, something.
We would usually have descriptions right here, but Google Hangouts has, for whatever reason, not liked that lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything you want to add, Jasmine?
Not at the moment. Don't have anything out yet, so nothing to plug. Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
There you go.
Coming eventually.
So our next YouTube chat will be on the 26th, here again at 7 o'clock, or 8 o'clock, or whatever time you are. It is 7 o'clock Central Time.
8 Eastern.
And there you go. And until then, I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but come check it out. We will let you know. I will put it in the description down below. I do live chats on Friday over on Sarah's channel, and eventually Saturdays again when I get into overtime. So, hello, no.
Yeah, let's just not.
Let's remove that. Yeah, I don't do cussing in my live chats. No, thank you. I'm glad YouTube doesn't put them down below now, because, yeah, no. Okay, but yeah, thank you guys for joining us. To all of you that joined us, Thank you. You're our first actual live chat people. I love it.
Oh
So,
my gosh, can you just leave us alone, person? Like, leave.
I might have to put him in timeout. We'll see. All right, so yeah. Until the 26th, guys, make sure you check us out. We do this at 7 o'clock every other Monday. And hopefully Gabrielle will be able to join us next time. If not, we'll have someone else that is equally as awesome. And maybe we'll have them both. Who knows? So, thank you guys for watching, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.